Hello there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, all of whom are loved and welcomed in this space. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Bad Betches, the only Bad Batch-focused discussion show hosted by the Imperial Senate Podcast. I'm your host, Charlie Ashby, and joining me, as always, are my beloved co-hosts, Nicky Kumar and Claire Stribling. How you doing?
And Hunter.
And Hunter.
Oh!
Bam.
Boom, boom.
Doing great.
Oh, yeah. Kicking butt, taking names, you know, the usual.
How's your week been? I wasn't here last time.
It's been wild. It's been wild. And
Yeah.
Nikki and I actually met up in person this week for the first time since Celebration Chicago.
Facts. Absolute facts.
And of course, Chris Swift. But he will not be watching because he doesn't watch Bad Batch.
He also just doesn't watch anything.
This is like Star Wars.
Yeah, most of it, I feel like. He's pretty mellow on.
Yep. But
It was a good time.
Citadel Outlets, baby.
Citadel Outlet's the only real place. Have you really been to Los Angeles? If you haven't been to the
thank
Citadel
you, that
Outlets.
Star Wars guy.
Oh, that's Star Wars guy. Thank
But
you,
yeah,
thank you.
You didn't invite
Indeed,
me.
thank you.
Yeah, we thought that it might be a bit of a trek for you. So
Yeah, I was gonna
ask
for
you.
you.
I would have swam. I would have swam.
Wow, that's commitment right there. I probably wouldn't have, to be honest.
I mean, to clarify, I would have drowned.
yeah.
But I would have swam. I would have drowned for you guys.
Oh, that's sweet.
Lovely gesture.
I do want to point out one specific thing right now about one of my co-hosts, which is Nikki. That attire, very dapper, sir.
Indeed. It's been a good morning.
It's been a very good morning. 1-0 to England, you know.
Yeah. Nice start.
You've been watching the Euros, Claire?
Yeah, I've been watching the Euros. Unfortunately, the only day of Euros I've been able to watch so far was a bit of a unsettling, traumatic day of Euros. But
Oh yeah.
my heart goes out to Ericsson and his family. But that's all I've been able to watch today. I've been looking forward to France kicking some butt though. Let's go.
Yeah, for those who don't know, the podcast is doing a sweepstakes for the Euros. And we've all got very interesting teams. I got Denmark, which, yesterday you mentioned, very traumatic game.
Yeah.
Claire, you got France, so you really lucked out.
Yeah.
Nikki.
Yeah. Oh, me.
I'm so
Also,
sorry.
shout out to Bob because Scotland is back. Scotland is in Euros. Go Scotland. It's not going to go well, but yes, you made it, guys. I'm proud of you.
It all depends on how Scott McSauce plays. That
Also, what a
is...
name. I'd like to put a little mixed sauce on my burger,
McSauce,
if you know what I
baby.
mean.
All about McSauce.
His middle name is Chef.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor
Yeah,
Nikki, though, with your team.
Hungary's gonna have a time. That's for sure.
In case you didn't know, Bob was from Scotland. This comment, I think, sums that up. Yeah, it's pretty fun stuff. And I feel like Scotland are already winning based on the weather that we've had recently. So, no rain. It's all good.
Woohoo! That's a rare one.
Yeah, isn't it? But yeah, a lot of fun stuff happened in the past week or so. I wasn't here last week. I do apologize. What was last week's episode again? Was it the Martez sisters, right?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I just want to say, because I didn't get to get my point across last week, I loved it. Everyone who complained about the Martez sisters in the Clone Wars season 7. Yeah, really cool stuff. I thought it was a really nice jumping off point. Another thing that made me laugh was the non-controversy that happened this week in the week between the Martez episode and this week, when everyone started getting angry and fighting over something that didn't even happen, which was fun.
Yeah.
In this week's episode.
Twitter. Gotta love it. Or not.
Twitter. You gotta make up something to.
I have so many bones to pick that I'm just gonna ignore them because they take up this and the next episode.
You got so many bones to pick. You got a whole dang skeleton over there.
Ain't that the damn truth? I mean, yeah, people are fun.
People are fun. Speaking of fun, this week's episode was a blast to watch. And why don't we just dive in and talk about it?
Woo woo.
Up first, we have the first point, which is after mission snacks and Rex's return. I thought it was... I really love the way that the show has expanded on the relationship between these characters and like the love and the respect between everyone, but particularly the grouping between Bracca and Omega. I think it's a really beautiful, lovely relationship, and you know, they're both children in their own way.
Yeah.
Omega literally, and Bracca is a little, you know, adolescent in spirit. And so to see them both being like, it's the energy of when you go out on vacation with your family and you're begging your parents for a few coins for like an arcade machine. Like, please, can I play Pac-Man? It's like, go on then. Like, I feel for the rest of the Bad Batch. They're like, or maybe I don't feel for them. Like, I guess we always just assumed, oh, how can they acclimatize and sort of connect with parenting? But I guess they must have had to all these years anyway.
Yeah, exactly. He was the test dummy.
Yeah.
And
no, it's always very sweet how he's very much the sibling as opposed to the father figure.
Yeah.
He's the older brother. And yeah, no, it's really sweet.
And we see them have their after mission snack, which is that lovely... I'm going to call it the traditional 77 Star Wars name, which is space popcorn.
Space popcorn.
And what's that stuff called in Galaxy's Edge?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, it's called Mantel Mix in the show, right? But in Galaxy's Edge, I don't know. It's very similar though. It's like about the same thing.
Interesting.
Even down to the colors, I think.
I didn't even see Mantel Mix when I went. I gotta be looking for next time. Watch it be renamed if it was before.
I think it's just called Outpost Mix or something.
Creative.
Outpost popcorn mix. But yeah, no, down to the colors of like red, purple, kind of white. It's really cool. And it's fun in the universe also. They put the red thing on it and they're like, it's the salt from Crate.
Yes.
Delicious. I had it. So what is it like? Is it nice? I assumed you both had it. So Nikki, I guess you're the connoisseur of...
I've only had it once. And yeah, it's a nice little snack. It's got a little kick to it in some parts. But yeah, no, it's good, I'd say.
Also, I feel like an idiot for just connecting that the reason it's called Mantel Mix is because we're on Ord Mantell.
Bingo.
I feel dumb.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, you're not the only one. We always have that thing.
I was like, what was the name again? Oh, now I will remember. I'm like, it wasn't Martell Mix because that was last week. We had the Martells mixed in, but no, okay.
I also love how the seediest part of town has popcorn.
Come on.
Yeah.
You go to the seediest part of the town and get your good fix. That's the way it always is, whether that be of legal or illegal substance. They ship in the stuff from all over. Yeah, that's street food.
Spices of all flavors.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
That'd be a good restaurant in Star Wars. Like in the CD Underground. You can have some food, have some drugs. Awesome.
There we go.
Yeah. I really loved the opening of the episode. I thought it was really fun. Get to see a bit more of that relationship between Omega and Wrecker, which again later on will be a key part of the episode.
Yeah.
But then we get the major reveal that it took ages to find out who the person in the cloak was. Yeah, it turns out it wasn't Ahsoka. And it turns out the book Ahsoka wasn't ruined by the almighty Filoni god. It turns out that it is Captain Rex.
Surprise!
There we go.
Who would have thought?
I don't know.
Like he appeared in the trailer.
Almost.
I really loved the... I mean, it was between me, it was between Belle or Rex. Yeah. But either way, like it, seeing the wreckage of the droid R7, it could only be those two, like Ahsoka or Rex. So I really do love seeing him getting involved in some some stuff like helping out the Republic, helping out the early stages, I guess, of the rebellion. It isn't like he just pieced out and didn't come back into rebels. He was doing stuff. He was helping out. So I do like that. I do like and appreciate that. Did you like the design? I feel like, I guess the clique, Anakin's clique of characters, like he's Padawan, his clone, his droid, like R2. They're all got the Anakin Skywalker like shine to them. They all got this like attitude. They all wear like specific cloaks. They all walk into mist like a badass.
They all learn from the best, you know.
That's like the drama class.
The drama, the intrigue.
Yeah, I thought it was just fun seeing Rex again and in his delightful poncho. He's a great look, and I mean it's just one of those things where it's like one of those sort of Chewie we're home moments where you're like, this feels right kind of thing. It feels right to have Rex in there. It feels right to see him again. And just again, same with the Martez sisters. Like it's just a great way to continue to even follow up on how Clone Wars ended. Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's a pleasant surprise, and I think there was a lot to Rex in this episode that was unique and interesting, and seeing him and Omega talk for the first time. And I also loved him like kneeling down to her eye level when they first met. I thought that was great, and just sort of like these sort of fatherly instincts that Rex has had also just growing up with Ahsoka. Because I mean, he's I mean in terms of years, he's also not that old, right? Yeah. So like it's just kind of funny that he has those instincts as well. And yeah, I love that. I mean, gosh, you even see him scared throughout this episode. He's on edge. So we saw a lot of different facets to Rex that are really cool.
Yeah, and you bring up a really good point with him getting down to Omega's eye level. I mean, he is of any clone, he received the biggest don't underestimate the little ones lesson. He received years of it, because look what can happen. That one ended up saving him in Order 66. And it's funny too, because it was cool because you could see a moment like in Rex's eyes where she instantly like earns his respect. Like, oh, this kid is more than she looks to be, when she's like, you're Generation 1. I could see it in the lines of your eyes. I was like, oh my God. And he's just like, okay, all right, this kid knows what's up. All right. Yeah. There's something special to this one. I don't know what it is yet, but yeah, it made me really happy. I just love seeing Rex. I'm a glutton for seeing Rex, and yeah, he is like ultra clone dad. What perfect person to meet up with the Bad Batch.
I do wonder though, if that were you in that position, Claire, and a kid comes up to you and looks you in the face and goes, "You're a Generation 1." I can see the lines in your face. Would you feel beloved?
I'd be like, "Dang, you calling me old? What the heck? I don't look that bad. Jesus." Looking at my mirror over here.
I guess like it feels worse when you realize that they're technically you.
Yeah. Oh, dang.
Like, I'm you and you're young and you're old. Like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, goodness.
I was really intrigued also by how much the Batch loves him.
Yeah.
Like Wrecker was like, yeah, I remember it. And he had him like fully lifted up. And I was also like wondering if they worked together again between the Echo thing and the like the end of Clone Wars, because like they had a very sort of close thing. I wonder if they were in contact, even when they saw Cut and Echo was like, "Oh right, Rex was around," and it just sort of felt like, you know, what other missions might they have sort of either coordinated on or been in touch on. It just felt like the relationship had even grown between the Bad Batch arc and now the Bad Batch show. So I thought that was kind of fun. Like they trust him a lot more.
Yeah, he has completely earned their respect, and it's kind of cool to see. Or not even just respect, and just like they're genuinely just delighted to see him.
Yeah,
it makes me happy.
Yeah, family. I guess it's a mixture as well. I guess definitely they could have had more missions between then. because they seemed very hesitant in the Bad Batch arc and the Clone Wars. But I do wonder if there's a bit of maybe Echo's influence. Maybe he's been telling stories and a bit more of his own personal experiences between that time. Mm-hmm. And also, like, from the Bad Batch's perspective, all their other brothers are brainwashed.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, exactly.
The fact that he showed up at all says something. And it is a relief.
Isn't brainwashed and isn't immediately jumping towards, I want to kill you guys, or you're under arrest. Like, I guess that must be some sort of relief, at least.
Yeah.
I really did love that opening. I thought it was really good. And to point out something you said, Nicky, there's definitely that PTSD so close off what happened in the final season of the Clone Wars. Particularly that I thought was really great was as soon as they mentioned that they don't have their chips removed, he immediately goes for the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, damn, like, they're not, like, playing around. It's not like he's going, oh, well, guys, you better get rid of that as soon as possible. Come on. Like, it's a,
oh, God, you're dangerous.
Fuck, go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to stop this, or I need to put you down. Like, I don't really want to, but I've had to bury my brothers, so we need to chill the hell up.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that thing of the way, this also continues off of, Siege of Mandalore, where you talk about PTSD for fans too, because it's like it's just like a repeated punch of what this event was to people, and I mean, it's like you said, he had to bury his brothers, he had to go up against Jesse, who was with him since way back when, and it's like this was a horrifying experience, and that shows, and it shows later when you see him extra on edge in the ship and stuff, and it was very, like, as good as it is to see him very emotionally complex and heavy.
Yes, definitely. It's rippled out to every single part of his existence now. He's on the run. He can't really be anywhere without a cloak. And all of his brothers it's the PTSD of surviving that traumatic event, and then it's like dealing with the grief of the loss of his brothers and knowing that as much as he wants to save every single one of them, he won't be able to. It's a lot. It's heavy, man. It's heavy.
Yeah. And also, just from the beginning, I also do love the catching a mission midway through kind of thing. That's always just a great move. Gets things started fast, and just from that, I love Omega's growing gear. She's got a little bandolier now. Omega's just the best, man. She is the greatest child to have ever existed in fiction and real life.
Big facts.
Yeah, it's just like she did the like order 66 of adorableness, and like everybody is now like she just did that, and then everybody's like, good soldiers protect Omega at all costs. And she's amazing. She's the best. Even just down to the way they animate her.
Yeah. Like
her movement is so delightfully childlike. And it's just like ultimate like protection instinct for Omega. Even just watching her. I'd do anything for that kid.
I will go a bit more into this later on, but I have to say Michelle Ang's performance is so good.
So good.
The way she gets the like you said, the adolescent, the childlike energy, like you can tell that she's a child, even though she's very smart, she's very head of, like, she knows a lot of information. There's a lot of that familial, personal thing that you get, especially towards the end of the episode when she like is very adamant, I'm gonna stay here. I was like, oh my god, my heart.
Pumpkin.
It's so good, yeah. And I really did. I'm glad you brought that up, Nicky, because that opening shot of the catching halfway through a mission, jumping out, things going wrong, and then getting away. Perfect. And the transition wipes in all these episodes have been like filmic quality, I think.
Oh yeah, this is pure cinematic level. Like it's great. Even like when they get to the next planet, and just even I know like everybody talks about the water, but even just the daytime exterior shots with like just the lighting, the clarity, the detail, like it's amazing what they're doing.
The rust.
Yeah.
The rust.
I could write a memo a whole essay on the Rust in this episode. It's so well done. I thought it's such a beautiful way that it's drawn. And why don't we just get into that? We'll get into the second part of this discussion, which of course is Bracca.
JFO. JFO.
Bracca Flacca Flame.
So yeah, we come back to the planet of Bracca, which, as Claire said, if you've played Jedi Fallen Order, we've seen that planet. It's the first planet we see in the games, the first planet we appear on. You're a big fan of that planet, right, Claire?
I was, and I think it was kind of a shame that like we don't, as far as I was aware of, note I have not like 100%ed Jedi Fallen Order or anything like that. I haven't done any of that. But one thing is I always wanted to go back to Bracca, you know, and to see, just to like wander around. And this is kind of like the animation version of being able to do that, because you can go and explore the other planets again and explore every nook and cranny in the games, but you don't really get to go back to Bracca as far as I'm aware of.
I don't think you do, no.
I don't think you do. But I wanted to, because that planet is so cool, and it's so full of cool little Star Wars Easter eggs and crashed ship parts and droids, and just, it's such a neat environment to just dip your toe into. And I'm really glad that we're back, because now we get to see other parts of Bracca, which was cool, including another tentacle monster. Woo!
Yes. I spoke to our good friend Tori Fox, who confirms to me, using the journalistic integrity I don't seem to have, which is using subtitles, which I don't do.
Hey.
It is the Dianoga.
Is it the Dianoga?
That's
oh,
a big
man.
Noga.
That makes me happy, at least.
Makes you worry about Luke just a little bit more.
That was my thing. Because, like I know the eye not appearing was a big thing for people. It was less the eye and more the teeth. I thought it was a Mummicore from The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, sure, that's a Mummicore. But no, Tori told me she's the creature expert. I defer to her judgment.
You refer to the creature cartel for this information.
Absolutely. The Dianoga apparently does have a big set of teeth. So yeah, Nikki, next time I watch New Hope, I feel like we're gonna.
The suspense is real.
Yeah.
Real big fears for Luke.
Absolutely. One thing about Bracca, also for me, I thought it was really cool. Just again, seeing it in daylight and clear weather. It looked like a nice day, actually. I also just I think that's a fun planet, because I always just wonder why. Like, why is it that? Like, did the Republic decide it was going to be a junk planet? Like, for the war? When did they start dumping all their stuff? Did they dump all their stuff before that? Has this been, it's like the High Republic where they dumping stuff on Bracca? So it's I just think it's really awesome. And Ukraine just scored an absolute belter goal. So there we go. Anyway.
Landfill planet. How, seriously, the people of Bracca, the natives of Bracca, were they just sure, we'll be the landfill planet?
That's why they made the guild.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Maybe they get a monopoly.
Who's making decisions for Bracca?
Also, I do want to shout out the costumes for the Scrapper Guild are the ponchos that Cal has.
Yeah.
In Fallen Order,
yeah.
Which I thought was really cool, because I'm pretty sure that was Respawn did Jedi Fallen Order, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did.
They're the ones who designed the costumes for the game, so to see their work being reflected in another Lucasfilm project, I thought must be really cool for those people who worked on that game. I love the planet. I love the concept of junk planets. I know that people have complained because there was that junk planet in The Force Unleashed, which was called. Was
that Raxus?
Raxus Prime, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Raxus Prime. Yeah, Raxus became the Confederacy headquarters, right?
Yeah. Which, I don't mind 2 junk planets, but I really like the idea, the concept of the junk planet and having the different starships. And I do feel like they used it during the war. It wasn't just ships that were dumped there after episode 3. I feel like they've been there for a little while, and they're scrapping.
I think I saw a Hammerhead Corvette.
Yeah, there was one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool then.
I was like, yeah, that's an Rogue one.
I like that movie.
That's a good film. Yeah, I really love the planet, the set design, like you said, seeing it in a different atmosphere and daytime, and just has a nice little glow. I bet it fucking stinks though.
Yeah.
Let's just be clear, I bet it stinks on that planet.
Yeah. The fact that they're afraid of the water is not a great sign for different forms of habitable life. Not the best sign. They're like, stay away from the water. Not a good sign. There's
the rats. There's the weird, freaky Dr. Seuss like birds. That sounds like seagulls. Which, if you know me, you know I fucking despise seagulls. So that was a big no-no.
I would have liked the Lord of the Rings reference.
It was just,
I would like the Lord of the Rings reference if Omega was throwing rocks in the pond and then Rex grabs her arms like, do not disturb the water.
Don't do that.
It's funny you bring up Lord of the Rings because I saw somebody had photoshopped Rex on Bracca with the title card for Return of the King. It made me so happy. I wish I remembered who it was so I could credit them. I was like,
let's pull on this thread a little more. In the bar, he's got the hood and the eyes, and it's very like reminiscent of Strider with the pipe.
Oh no. Yeah.
Known as Strider at that point.
Yes.
But yeah, he sitting there with the pipe with the hood down, it lights up and lights his eyes. It's very, very reminiscent. Return of the King indeed.
Beautiful.
It's almost like Filoni likes that kind of thing. Shocker.
Crazy.
Interesting. Also, shout out. Oh my god, this is great. Shout out to Anne, Dave's partner.
Yes.
Who liked my comment on Twitter. Someone put like a really like funny thing about like Dave Filoni being sexy or something. And
the hat stays on, right?
Oh, that's it. The hat stays on. And I replied, interesting. So good. I loved something that really I thought like, amazing attention to detail was that Wrecker going through the starship is very dangerous, and because it's very temperamental. And I didn't realize this until I rewatched it. Claire, do you know what that's referencing?
Oh God, what have I missed?
That's actually referencing a thing from Bracca in Jedi Fallen Order. Can I just show you a clip?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I have to jump the gap. Am I about to die? Yeah. I was like, am I supposed to jump that gap? Okay, well, maybe not. Okay. Oh my God. How about I see how this is. I see any opportunity to give it a Claire is gonna fall off of something in Jedi Fallen Order reference. Yeah, remind me never to Twitch stream ever again. I'm over it.
No. I'm saying that's not your fault because now
you're right. You're right. It's not my fault.
Anyone can.
That's true.
Poor Cal.
Poor Cal, and he's a Jedi. Like, come on, that's
that poor kid as well. Like, he's on that planet at this point, right?
Yeah.
So, sees his master die, crashes down, lost his lightsaber, and then it just smells. There's rats everywhere.
Yeah.
Scrapper Guild, I'm sure, is like docking his pay for stupid stuff.
Probably.
Poor Cal.
Oh my goodness gracious.
But yeah, I thought it was a really cool. I thought it was great that they referenced you.
Me specifically.
Yeah.
Like Filoni was watching. He was watching. And it turned into the interesting.
But yeah, I think it's a really cool idea of utilizing these like planets and stuff. Because I know that people go, "Why have you used that planet that was in Jedi Fallen Order? Why can't you make a new planet?" I'm like, well, if it's there.
Because we've seen like 0.0001% of that planet. We can see another 0.0001% of it for a minute. That'd be cool.
I mean, people had to. Yeah, sorry.
I just like people get so caught up on these dumb, like minuscule problems.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't fucking matter. Like, this is using the toy box. Like, who cares? It's a fucking planet. Like, is your life really gonna be that different by having another databank entry? Like, that's what people are obsessed about. They're like, they just want to know, like, titles. And, like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, it's Bracca because Bracca's cool and useful. Okay? So, how about that? Just shut the fuck up, okay?
I think the funniest thing about that too, Nikki, is because you have a very good point. But the thing is, when they get that new planet, they're gonna be like, well, this is just another snow planet, or well, this is just another forest planet, or well, this is just another water planet.
Yeah, what the hell do you want? Like, you just want to know random bullshit. Like, that's all you want. If that's like your big concern, you just want that. Like, same thing with Fennec, same thing with everything else. It's like, oh, did it have to be her? Yeah, it did, because it's fucking cool. That's why. Okay?
It's 100% that. It's people mistake storytelling for encyclopedia entries.
Yeah.
And the thing that drives me crazy as well, like you just said, did that character have to be there? Could they have not made an original character? Small galaxy syndrome. Shut the fuck up. Like, it's a fucking fictional show.
Also, like, did that character have to be there? Did anybody have to be in this scene? Did anybody?
No.
Like,
does Star Wars need to exist? Like,
no.
Yeah, exactly. Like, again, this is the same. This is also the same universe where Anakin built C-3PO.
Yes.
Right. Like, R2-D2 was on Luke's mom's ship. Like, this is the world. Like, what? I don't know why people like pick and choose how they want to engage with it. Like, this is how Star Wars is made.
And it's the bullshit argument of, well, in the real world, in the real world there's no droids. In the real world, Darth Vader doesn't exist. So what's your problem? Like, that's not, storytelling doesn't work that way.
Yeah, the whole point is to escape the real world. How about that?
Yeah.
And like, thematic elements do matter. Would the episode last week have the same effect on us as an audience if it wasn't the Martez sisters and it was, I don't know, John from Corellia?
Yeah.
Would we have been like, oh, well, at least it's an original character? No. And then if John showed up in fucking Book of Boba Fett, people go, oh, great. Just introducing John again, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what's people?
Like, wow, John really gets around, doesn't he?
Did it have to be John?
Did it have to be John? Like, small galaxy syndrome much? Like,
oh my god.
Like,
yeah.
We're really tired of Chris.
Again, I teased it early. I was like, okay, it's gonna come out now. Yeah, no, it's just wild, man. And also, this game is insane. Netherlands, Ukraine. Cool. It's just became 3-2 for the Netherlands. So anyway, yeah, it's a lot of stuff happening in the world right now, obviously. But yeah, absolutely. Like, it's just this like weird obsession with the data bank. Like, it's like, just enjoy the story, man. Just enjoy the story.
God damn.
I mean, if John Hamm was playing John, I think a lot more people would be like, put John in everything.
He literally has that BDE.
He does. Oh, man. Reed has a good question for us.
He does. Let's dive into that.
Yo, how's this for something to chew on? Nikki has the inhibitor chip still active in your brain. Charlie and Claire don't. Do you let him live in Wonderland or show him how deep the rabbit hole goes? I'm getting that thing out of your head, Nikki. Whether I have to, I don't know what I would have to do, but I'll do it. I
appreciate that, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
I would as well.
Intel mix.
You will have some Intel mix waiting for you when you're done.
Also, I can tell Reed's on his phone because it auto-corrected the spelling of Charlie to his dad's spelling.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I wasn't going, wow, Reed's fucking stupid.
I did
Wow,
make
what a
sure,
good friend.
I did
Reed.
make sure we cover that base there.
Just kidding. My autocorrect is awful, so you don't want to see that either.
Also, I will say, like, if you're watching us on Twitter, YouTube, or Twitch, please do ask us questions because we're here to answer questions. We're here to just discuss the episode. Anything you want to add, anything you noticed about the episode, or things you didn't like, things you did like, point them out. If the things you didn't like were about Small Galaxy Syndrome, don't ask us questions.
Yeah, skip that. But
but yeah, I thought it was really cool to delve back into that planet. And I'm glad Reed asked us the question about the inhibitor chips because we're going on to the next segment, which is delightfully called Good Soldiers Follow Orders. I knew when they teased this episode on Twitter, all the creatives were like, "You're gonna love this episode."
Oh, they were being naughty. They were being real naughty.
we'll get to them later as well because they are making me nervous.
Yeah.
They have been very naughty. They've been teasing on a level that they've never teased us before.
Mm-hmm.
And just hearing, and again, it's the same thing we hear all the time. The Order 66 phrasing has been something that in our head, a collective mindset, has been scary for like since 2005.
yeah.
And then when season 6, The Clone Wars, introduced the whole concept of good soldiers follow orders, that has made another layer of anxiety cake. There's an anxiety cake. You got the nice little delicious moist,
Moist.
slices of
Brought
Order
it in.
66, and then they got the jam and the lovely cream of good soldiers follow orders in between.
Victoria Sponge.
Yeah, and a sugaring of death.
Delicious.
It's really interesting to see how they've introduced this new phrasing and how scary it is, because when you hear Bracca go from the sort of the bumbling like I can't hold myself together to I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Like,
Literally
Jesus
grabbing
Christ.
Tech by the throat. Like, oh no.
I thought we were about to get a Loki on our hands for a second. Like I was
like
waiting.
a crush.
I was waiting for the Kit Kat crunch.
Oh no.
I was like, oh no.
No,
Oh,
talk
no,
about
indeed.
anxiety cake. Oh no.
I think the reason why we didn't see that episode has me more nervous,
Mm-hmm.
particularly with the ending of the episode. And like we said before, the creators being very naughty. I'm very anxious about the Bad Batch crew. And yeah, in that moment, I was like, and that's what's great about the show as well. And I guess any other post Order 66 content is that we don't technically know what happens to the Bad Batch, which makes the story very open-ended and nerve-wracking. I know there's the whole like, what's it called? Not the Batch 66. What are those troopers called in the Star Wars comic?
Scar Squad.
Scar Squadron, but they're called like 66. Are they like?
Is it like 466?
999 or like 99, right?
Do they keep the 9?
I think
might. Yeah.
If anyone reads the comics, please do clarify. It's been a while since I read the 2015 Star Wars. Jesus Christ, Bob with the lovely comment there.
Yummy. Chocolate.
Speaking of yummy,
delicious and nutritious anxiety cake.
but yeah, it was one of those things where I was just so anxious about every single moment, and I was like, in my mind, it's like I don't think that the Scar Squadron's connected to them. They might have 99. They might have been like named after them. I was like, and then my mind was like, what if the show has a dark ending? Like, what if Crosshair like wins out and they do form that Scar Squadron? He's like, I need brothers, but I can make my own ones. I was like, God damn! Like, I'm not sure where this goes. And that's what kind of excites me a bit more is that I'm not completely. I don't completely have faith in the fact that everyone will make it out alive.
Yeah, it's very sort of open-ended on how this can go, and I think it's like I always think about the ending I want, and then I'm like, that seems too happy for this time frame,
Yeah.
right? Like everything is bittersweet, at least in this time frame, and but then I also think of like the important themes, the themes of of like family and doing like working for each other and blah blah and all that good stuff, and like if like so like an ending I have in my mind makes sense along those lines, but again it doesn't seem to fit, and that gives me butterflies because it's hard, and depending on when you became exposed to these characters, we like really fell quite deep for them, and it's gonna like it will be rough. What happens will suck in some way. It has to, but it's still one of those things where it's like very like I think it's very powerful that it will suck.
Yes.
Like it's like in a good way. Like it's gonna hurt, but you're gonna like it, or whatever the Ron Weasley quote is. You're gonna be happy about it or something.
You're gonna suffer.
Exactly, that's the one. And yeah, it's gonna be rough, and like going back to talking about Rex being on edge, I think this part was also really sort of scary to see him go through, because he sees like Wrecker like and like he's got his hand on his head and he's like looking at the light, and the light is like, even the way the like sound design is, it's like the light hurts us because it's like this pulsating like and like we can feel that pain that Wrecker is having, and Rex is like, we need to go faster because things are going to go down, and then things go down.
Your ticking time bomb. Terrifying. And the music, like special shout out to the Kinders, again, as we do every week, because they've earned it, first of all. But in the moment where they're trying to put Wrecker into the machine to take it out, and when he snaps, how the music goes out, and all we can hear is like that almost like machine humming sound into straight up horror movie music. Just like, nope. No. Like absolutely terrifying, because Wrecker, like he's a big kid. He's this big cute boy who I love dearly. But if he didn't have such a big mushy interior, he can do a lot of damage, and he did. And he could have done a lot worse.
Yeah. I remember like joking. I don't remember at what point. Maybe it was once Siege of Mandalore came out. I was like, man, I don't want to be the Jedi that has to see Wrecker go Order 66. And then I was like, we probably won't see that anyway. And then we saw it.
Like, could you imagine if it was Wrecker instead of Crosshair?
Right.
Oh my god.
He would have yeeted Kanan off the cliff.
Dude, what about the freaking conscript guy who didn't follow the order? What would have happened to him? It would have been like Hulk and Loki. Again, Loki's coming up. It would have been like that. Like Wrecker would just grabbed him by the leg and smacked him.
Slam him.
Yeah.
Yikes. But I'm with Joey. Sorry. I know we talked over you putting the comment up, but I agree. We need a musical number of the Bad Batch. Like everybody ending, break into song, colorful, dancing on the walls, like in the Heights. Yes, please.
Omega teaches the music.
Yes. That's Omega's gift, is the gift of song.
Yeah. That'll be beautiful.
Turns the bow into a harp.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, beautiful.
Light strings come up.
Yeah, and like you said, Claire, shout out to the Kleiner brothers. Just because, like, one, like Kevin Kleiner is awesome, and like the fact that he created two little dudes who are also awesome and do great music.
And they're so nice, just cool, fun people. Like they're cool guys. The Kleiner brothers are just so nice. They're nice.
# humble brag, Claire.
Yeah, and we did interview them on Kessel Run Transmissions, and they were just like adorable. And they had their 2 pugs with them while we interviewed them, and I'm just like, this is the vibe here. That's what I need.
They're really cool. They follow ISP as well on Twitter, which is really sweet.
They're cool.
Them.
They're really smart storytellers, and we've seen that for how many years has it been since they've been working? 2008. And so, like we didn't matter what series it was. They know everything. They know the beats. They know the characters. They know the emotions, and the music reflects it, and it's same way John Williams does it for the films. It's like you could so easily be justified in giving John Williams like story by credit, because the way he runs the music as storytelling device is just, obviously it's John Williams. It's the greatest. But they're on a similar role for these animated shows.
Yeah. I mean, without them, so many times, like, it's clear, like, what's going on, but they don't, like, you wouldn't feel anything nearly as deeply without them. And John Williams, you wouldn't really know how to feel about half of Star Wars without John telling you, I feel this way. I know this is a really weird thing you're watching right now. This is scary. This is intense. You should feel this right now. And you're like, oh my God, yeah, you're right, blah. And
and I think what, again, is a testament to the kindness, all of them, is because with Rebels, I really did appreciate the fact that with Rebels we could use the elements and themes of music from the films for the first time, because really in Clone Wars we never really got that. Mm-hmm. But what's a testament to their work is that they create their own like story beats, whether that's Rex's theme, whether that's Ahsoka's theme, which when you hear Ahsoka's theme in The Mandalorian, like, wow, like this is how far we've come. Yeah. And I think the Bad Batch is great because there's a nice little blend of both. I think with like Rebels, where you get to hear bits and pieces of music from the films, especially in the Clone Wars season, the final season as well, like when they use the Anakin Stark Deeds bit, which again is perfect. Every time they use that for Order 66, you have to do it. You can't just like, even if it's great original pieces of music, you just have to use that piece. But something they did repeat, I don't know if you noticed this, was that I think slightly, not as loud, but slightly, if you listen really carefully, when Wrecker's hunting Omega, you hear bits and pieces of the synth track from the Order 66 arc from the Clone Wars. The Blade Runner.
Shattered episode,
You hear bits of it. I was like, oh. Like, it's still like, that's what's really great about the music, is that it's not very loud. It's not like it's happening right now. It's like remnants of the past, remnants of this like horrible event that happened that's still recurring. I just thought it was really great seeing that.
Yeah, and it's very much like the musical Good Soldiers Follow Orders, right? Yeah. Like it's this sort of instinctual now cue, like in our heads, of what this is. So yeah, it's very clever that they know what to do. They are good at their job, and thank you.
Also, I don't know if you've ever watched. Have you ever watched Doom Patrol?
I've not. No.
First of all, go watch Doom Patrol. It's one of the best shows out there currently. Like, in terms of like, if you like really weird content and
DC that's comics, why you're here, right? Because if you like really weird content, you're probably watching Imperial Senate.
Let me sell this show to you, okay? Using 4 things: weird content, DC Comics, Brendan Fraser.
Oh my God! Okay, okay,
okay. Theme by the Kind of Brothers.
Okay, yeah. You got me.
It's one of the best themes. Like, I didn't realize this until like a few weeks ago. Like when I was looking just at like bits and pieces. As you do, you fall through the Wikipedia train, like you go, I just want to search what this recipe is, and then you end up looking at the history of the Soviet Union, as we all do. And I was like, oh my God, the Kind of Brothers did that too. I was like, oh my God, it's really great. It's a really great theme, so I just want to shout them out for that as well. But to get back into the whole Good Soldiers Follow Orders, what I really did appreciate as well is that they remind you about the strangeness of the clones and what they are, because yes, we grow to attach and love them, and they are people, and it's the whole free will debate, but also they were bred as weapons.
Yeah.
So when you see Wrecker go into that mode, it's so disturbing, because like some of the traits you see that he, like make him, like when he stumbles on words and stuff, he slightly has it still, but it's more structured and regimed, and it just reminded me of how like the military tried to beat stuff out of people, and whether that's tics or traits, and you see that a lot. I thought it was really interesting to see that. And the more I'm convinced that this season will end with, like, how Rebels ended in season 1 with the whole Vader coming out and Tarkin being like, the Emperor has sent a new alternative. Like, I reckon that we'll see the Stormtroopers just come out in the full armor, the full regalia.
That'd be wild.
That's my that's my shot, at least.
There we go. Yeah, I think it again with Wrecker, it's like all the things we love about him as a hero flipped and and made scary, right? Like, it's very much it's the evil version of here comes the wrecking ball, and like it's like brutal and terrifying to behold. I mean how many guys did he go straight for the neck with, right? Like he got Hunter by the neck, he got Tech by the neck. It was pretty like terrifying and just unsettling again. And we saw it happen to Wrecker. We already obviously we already have Crosshair being I guess whatever controlled by this, and I think it was different this time because Crosshair is more abrasive, more he's the coiled snake and not the loving man child, right? Like it's a very different thing. Like
it's way more stark of a contrast with this.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Like with Crosshair, it was like, and also they were holding that sort of mystery element of like the confusion as well with Crosshair and how very clearly he didn't know what was going on and they didn't know what was going on, and that was very well balanced. Whereas this felt like an abuse. I mean, say it did eventually with Crosshair when they like turned the dial up, but this just felt like very extra abusive because especially how you see just Wrecker being one of the kids at the beginning. So it felt a lot worse watching it happen to him.
Watching back, I was interested what you guys thought. What was the pushing point? Was this just weeks and days of head injuries building up and eventually just letting go, like it takes over him? Or was it a combination? Because the moment where he starts to turn is when Rex says the phrase Order 66.
Yep. I think it was almost like, I think the head injuries had a big part to do with it, but I think that it was almost like an autoimmune response. Like the Order 6, like, oh, they're trying to take this out of me. This is my chip overriding my functions and saying, preserve this at all costs. We cannot let this get out, which I thought was a super, super interesting time to get him to turn. It was very, very interesting how they did it. And it like makes you think a lot about how these chips could work or do work. What the game plan was on them and what constitutes activating Order 66 in a clone.
Yeah, I sort of saw it as like a glass wall. Is that a window? I don't know. Anyway, a big pane of glass, and Order 66 in the premiere cannot get through that because they're just like, what's that? But now that glass has been cracked, like way too many times. Yeah, and so maybe if that is a thing where Rex says it, maybe now that glass was weak enough.
Shattered it.
And then I think and then it's like what other things can determine it? Like, is it the distress? Because obviously he was very distressed by the pain of the headache, the machinery, it is interesting. I think that's what's fun about Order 66 still, because they try to still like define it here and there, but I kind of like it being loose and fluffy and or not fluffy, but hazy.
Fluffy. I like fluffy.
Fluffy is a fun word, but I don't know if accurate for this. But like loose and hazy as to how exactly it works, because I think it's kind of fun to guess and wonder.
Yeah,
it's the same with the Palpatine coming back stuff. Like they can throw out some few words like Sith magic, special space tube. So you're like, okay, that's enough. I can put the rest together.
Yeah,
it's the fun part.
I do fear though, like if for the clones that go off to Dex's diner in Coruscant, and there's like maybe a few Jedi in the line, and they're going through the orders, and it's like a really busy day, and then it's like, yeah, order 66.
Oh no!
Clone's like, oh, good soldiers for the order. And just
Go
cuts to
ape
someone,
on the diner.
like a dog going, "Oh, they really want that burger."
Oh no! Yeah,
and I have to say as well, I really love the horror aspect. They definitely switched into a horror movie really quickly, and as a film fan, I have to say I love the way it was shot, the way it was like we see it from Omega's point of view, so the camera tilts upwards.
So scary.
So that Wrecker's like, I'm the Hulk.
And just the vintage, again, horror movie sort of. I feel like calling it a
trope.
A trope. Oh, not yeah. I was gonna use even a worse word. We'll go with trope. Like, the thing of like I'm hiding. The guy looks, and it's the wrong spot. Like, it's always like it's like that very specific thing it was a fun use of that.
Yeah, because every time you still get scared because you don't know. Like,
yeah.
Oh no, Omega. Thank God.
Yeah.
And then even then, it's like he's proper going for it, and you're like, I don't know what's gonna happen. And you're like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, thankfully they all got their chips removed. Yeah. I know someone the other day was like, why did Echo get his one removed if he wasn't affected? On our Discord, which by the way you should join.
Join, yes.
I was like, well, better safe than sorry.
Yeah, definitely. Might as well. While you're doing it, we got the equipment in front of us. Let's be safe here. Like,
I think they should have like just broke canon just to speak to the audience and be like, while we're here, we better have 2 vaccines.
Oh my God.
And there's that one. I'll give you the next one in 2 weeks.
Unless it's Johnson & Johnson.
Oh, we're Johnson.
Wrecker would hate needles.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. If you hate tights, he definitely hates needles.
Oh my goodness.
We have a good question from Bob, who says, "Do you think there will be a season 2 or will episode 16 be the end of the batch?" I hope that means the show.
Yeah, the Bad Batch without the batch might not be a show with legs. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. They're very cryptic about it.
Yeah.
So it could be anything. I think a well told 16 episode single package story is totally fine. If that was the way to tell it, that's the way to tell it. If there's a season 2, hell yeah, can't wait. I love the show already. So, I'll happily watch season 2. I think there's definitely it all depends, right? Like it depends what avenues they go down. If they sort of like, if it ends with them sort of like free, say they rescue Crosshair, say he joins the squad again, and they all become freelance mercenaries. I think you could do a season 2. But yeah, if they all go out on Blaze of Glory, then there you go. 16 episodes. That's a good story. So yeah, I don't know. I'll leave that up to their judgment. I assume it's good.
Yeah, the one thing that makes me think that it might be more serious is because they tend to market these things and announce them as limited series or event series or whatever, and they haven't, which makes me think that the opportunity for a season 2 depends entirely on how well this does. That's what I think. I think that if enough people are watching, I think they will do a season 2. That's just because they didn't market it as an event series. But also, I'm with Nikki though. I don't care. Like, as long as you continue to tell a good story, and how it ends is really going to determine what's next.
I definitely agree with both of you. I think if it's just a 16 episode season, again, if it's a good story, which so far it's been a great story, I am down with that.
Yeah.
I will say I agree about the event series. I also feel like the amount of the trademarking and stuff Feels like there's longevity there.
Yeah.
I also think, retrospectively, the Clone Wars Season 7 wouldn't have happened if they didn't have the Bad Batch also happening.
Yeah.
I think that, because you have to remember, like, the amount of money, effort going back in, getting those textures, making new textures for new characters, getting that level of animation, which is definitely a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I think we noticed, this was a while ago now, but I think we noticed this sort of like expansion of Lucasfilm animation.
Yes.
And they even like rebranded the logo and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's a safe bet that this is going to continue, and I think also other projects will probably run too. I think they'll
concurrently.
They'll get to this point where they want to run multiple animated series. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. Well, I'm sure it'll be good though, whatever it is.
Yeah.
If you wanted my like random guess, I wouldn't be surprised if it was maybe 2 or 3 seasons long. I don't think it'll be as long as the Clone Wars.
No.
But I do think that it'll be at least 2 seasons long.
And I don't think it'll be as long as Rebels either.
And remember, the Clone Wars was only as long as it was because that was Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yes, right. And also George had money.
Yeah. That was everything that was happening. Like, I remember my first celebration was before Disney, and like the only sort of like look to the future was Clone Wars Season 5, and the prequels are going to be in 3D. Like, that was it. Like, that was everything they teased. And then detours. Yeah, so like everything, like that was it. Like, I think the Clone Wars got that level of stuff because that was the focus. Whereas now it's like, we can run shorter series because we're gonna be literally slapped in the face with stories.
Yeah.
And go ahead, just slap us everywhere with those stories. Yeah. I love it.
We're a glutton for that kind of slapping.
Someone's going to cut that, and we'll put that in the best of. I feel like as long as there's a story to tell, they'll tell it. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure D. Bradley Baker is desperate for them to.
He's there. Whatever happens, he's like, "I'll do it. We should do it. Yep. We should do it. Yep. I'll be there. I'll do it. Yeah, come on."
Who doesn't want more Omega, right? Like
Omega.
10 seasons of Omega, please.
The people that keep bringing up the fact that we might see Omega in a potential Boba Fett show. I want that. Which brings us to our final point of this week's episode, which is this is the thing that worries me. Cliffhanger
the Empire's coming.
And bad fights.
There's also a bit of a cliffhanger before that I'm curious about. Who is Rex talking to?
No one.
No, it's like at the party where he like pretends he's on his phone. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm always texting because I don't want to talk to anyone here."
He's doing his Calrissian Chronicles in his column.
He goes back to the Wyoming. There's like 15 messages from himself.
Yeah.
Rex, don't forget to pick up the groceries.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I think that's an interesting thing who he's working with. Because obviously now, we know he wanted the tactical droid information. He's got something up his sleeve, but then also we're connecting that to Rebels where he's in the desert. So speaking of bad vibes, I feel like I have this like feeling that Rex is gonna try to be part of something and it's gonna go bad, and he's gonna run.
Yeah, it definitely feels like they must know that he survives because they don't seem that shocked that he's. Unless I've forgotten something, like in Rebels, they just pick up the information that he is retired.
It feels very casual or like very like form or not, like there's a formal break or something. They're like, goodbye, have fun in retirement. Don't want to see you again. But yeah, the way this story is working out, I don't know how to like parse those two. So yeah, we'll have to see. But I felt that was also very much a a cliffhanger and a tease in what sort of this wider movement might be that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Hunter's straight up like, hey, if something goes down, like, you know where to find us. So we may see it.
Yeah. He might as well just sort of next story thread that might come up later on.
Like, if you want to define our episode 14, let me know, because we got an open space.
And I feel like what's interesting about that is, well, first of all, I just want to say, like, I'm really glad they had the Y-Wing back. Like, he kept it. He's like, yeah, that's my Y-Wing. I really love that. I love the fact that he is working with the Martez, and obviously Ahsoka must have put them together.
Yeah.
Been like, you can have my droid. I need to peace out for a bit. Look after Rex. Probably where they went their own separate ways at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Rex, because it seems like the way that he did the stuff on the ship seems like he's done it before. And I know that obviously he has experience from himself, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, hey, Wolf, come here. Let's go to Bracca. I want to show you something. Yeah. And like whacked him on the head. I was like,
I thought at this point he hadn't done it yet.
Yeah, he says at one point, he says like, they're like, how long is it gonna be till he wakes up? And he's like, I don't know. I haven't been on this end of it before.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that can definitely happen.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I think that's
how he knows how to do it. So
yeah,
maybe his first test patient is Gregor. Gregor's like, I'm fine. What are you talking about? Like, there's no head. All the head injury that we assumed was because of explosion.
Like, let's just take that out anyway.
And he's like, he wakes up. He's like, "Hey, Rex!" Like,
oh, what have I done? His first solo extraction does not go well.
Yeah, no tech to help him.
Mm-mm.
Or maybe he will be. Who knows? Yeah, no, I think that's fun stuff coming up with Rex, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bad vibes, the Scrapper Guild in a lovely first unlockable poncho of the show.
Their ponchos and their KOTOR helmets.
Yeah, and then that's Ring the Empire and what I like to call the classic Rebels. Oh, it's a two-part. You know, when you watch Rebels, you're like, oh, they're doing a two-part. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, it's not Rebels. When it's a two-part, but you have to wait like 5 months for the next part.
I hated that.
Like, okay, Ezra, your parents are dead. See you in 5 months.
There's nothing worse than those mid-season breaks. Even when they happened in the Clone Wars, they sucked. And I remember the first time I didn't know they did that. And I walked over to the couch, just like turned on the TV. And I was like, "Where's my goddamn Clone Wars?"
Oh goodness!
Was this while you were at college?
This would have been late high school, at least.
Just smashed the TV.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Filoni.
Yeah, I've never a fan of that because I was like, and then it was like, well, when's it coming? I'll try again next week. Nope. Next week. Nope. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, I'm glad they're not doing that. What's that?
That's where your beard came from.
Yeah.
Waiting for the Clone Wars.
Yeah. Even more haggard by the Rebels season 1.
Oh god.
With Sibo.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was 8. Oh god, what crazy.
Yeah.
What a time. What a time to be alive.
But the season 2 one, was I remember season 2 one was the Leia, the Rider, and then it came back. It was the Leia episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in season 3, I can't remember the episode they ended off on, but the one they came back on was the Saw one, right?
Yeah, it ended on the Voices and Visions. I think, or no, was that the one? Yeah, I think it was where they go to Dathomir and Sabine picks up the Darksaber.
Oh yeah, of course.
Pretty sure that's where it ended.
Ah, the good old days. The good old days. Although it wasn't as bad as the Celebration Rebels season 4 premiere, Nicky. When you came out, you were like, guys, Rebels is going to change everyone forever. You won't understand how dark they've gone. Like episode 2, we're like, oh, okay.
That was a funny one. Yeah.
I love that still though. Just because people were so bad about it.
I don't give a fuck. Again, like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it was so funny when you came out. I was like, what's going to happen? And then we're like, oh, okay. And everyone else was like, dude, this sucks. Like, I was like,
it was very dark for a lot of people, just not 2 people in particular.
Oh goodness.
They walked out okay. But yeah.
Also, it was funny because it was literal plot armor.
True.
Which I think is funny. Yeah, I love a good like 2-part storyline. I am absolutely terrified about next week's episode because of what the people who work on this show have said. And again, the little shits are coming out full force. I am frightened. I am tense. My butthole is clenched. No proton torpedoes will be going there anytime soon. I am worried.
I wonder.
Are you saying that Luke Skywalker wouldn't have destroyed the Death Star if it had just clenched?
Wasn't clenching hard enough.
Well, not clenching hard enough.
We're gonna see that. That's actually the plot for Andor.
Oh, okay. They're taking out the clench wrench, whatever it would have been.
The clench wrench. There's no word. There's no better word for it.
The Death Star had just a little bit of gas and like needed that out. couldn't clench fully. He's like, in the moment of triumph.
Nervous gas is what it is. Nervous gas.
I just love the idea of Galen being like, the clench wrench. There's no better description.
What if that was the project name? Like not Stardust anymore.
Going through War Mantle, Black Saber, Clench Wrench.
Guess he's like, wait, go back to that one. I want to read that one. new plan, Bodhi.
Jesus.
Oh man. Yeah, that would have been wild.
Oh man. Good.
But yeah, I'm also very in terms of being worried. We haven't seen Crosshair for a while, and I'm wondering how lethal this squad is now.
I think it's time. I think next week we're going to see him, and I think that next week seeing him and seeing his squad is not going to be good emotionally or physically for anybody involved in the episode.
Yeah.
I think we'll know how bad it is when they all take their helmets off and they've all got toothpicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, well trained clones.
They're like, shoot them. Yeah. I am nervous, but also I'm interested to see where they go. What I like is having an idea in my brain about where the show and story goes, because I like getting proved wrong. In my mind, I am assuming that Crosshair gets reprogrammed fairly towards the end of the season and then helps the Bad Batch fight back. Now, what would be interesting is, because they're on Bracca and we know that they've got the facility to fix stuff, it would be interesting if they turn it on their head and they fix him and he works with them to stop this new team. But it might even be even more interesting if they get rid of the chip and he still feels the same way.
Oh no.
Yeah. I thought about this a lot. I think that could definitely happen. Yeah. But like for me, from what I know, from what I feel like I understand the character, that doesn't feel like in character.
No, I do.
I think Omega sees past that.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is kind of what I was talking about earlier with like the themes, right? Like the hope for kids. What does Dave Filoni always talk about? The hope for kids, right? These stories gotta have that. Yeah. And so I always think about that, and then I was like, is that too happy though? But yeah, I'm kind of the same. Like I think it's impossible for what they know about the chips to not be part of a Save Crosshair attempt. right? Like it had like I feel like that has to happen. And of course, what I want is that to happen, and then he joins the team and he goes all John Wick on everyone, and they take out some Imperials. That'd be beautiful. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a long, windy, complicated road to get there.
Yeah. I have a prediction. If you're interested,
Bring it.
You won't like it.
No.
Oh, well then maybe not. Just kidding. Go ahead.
One of the Bad Batch will die next week.
Next week?
How about no? How about we don't do that?
Something really interesting. I don't think there's like much, if any, trailer footage left.
Nope. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about the characters that have been focused on. I was like, well, Tech hasn't really been focused on too much. Echo, not really. I just assumed that Echo Tech would be the one that would die. But the more I think about it, I'm convinced that Hunter might die.
Oh,
Hunter?
God.
Because there's been a big focus on him. And I feel like if you're going to go for like a really big emotional gut punch, and you wanted to focus on other characters later on, that could be interesting. I don't think, like, I'm not 100% convinced Hunter will die next week. It's just like I was thinking about. I'm convinced. I would say I'm 70% convinced one of the Bad Batch will die next week.
That's very convinced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing, like, I feel like with Hunter, I don't think he can go yet. I don't think he can go now. I think he's too central to like the heart of it, and also I think there's too much sort of that unfinished business and guilt he has with Crosshair.
Yeah. That needs to be played out.
Yeah, so that needs to
next week though.
Yeah. He's like, he tries to talk to him, he just snipes him.
But that might be interesting. What if he does try to save him, and it doesn't work? And then Crosshair kills him, and then so when it comes to Crosshair's redemption, that's the tiding point. Like he's like, now I need to redeem myself, and on his honor and his memory.
Yeah, I still wonder if even if that happens, it's more powerful if he kills someone else instead of Hunter. And then it just keeps building. If that is like kind of what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
And I also feel like it won't be Echo because the hot toy told us that he gets a like protocol droid arm. Yeah. And I don't see them shoving that all in the next episode. So yeah, it's hard to say.
Tech could be interesting because he's very powerful in a sense. But
he has like a lot of utility for like the missions. So yeah. It's
but I feel like he's not had enough character development, if any. But I'm at the minute 70% convinced. I'll say, okay, maybe I'll say.
I mean that would hurt.
That would really hurt. I could also see.
Don't even put it out there, please. Don't do that.
I mean, we know his. That's another sort of scene we didn't touch on, the apology scene.
That broke me.
Yeah,
broken.
What if Crosshair is about to shoot Omega, and then Wrecker jumps in, and that's what kills him?
I mean, yeah, like that's why I say it. I said it because we know he's got some guilt. He's got a little bit of guilt over what just happened, and yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he tries to amend that.
Don't encourage this.
I'm just saying.
We're just throwing stuff out there.
Just trying to follow some beats.
You're putting it out into the universe. I don't like the energy that's being thrown out into the universe.
Just remember, Clay, whatever happens, it's already been decided. We can't change that.
I'll still blame both of you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think either killed or at least very much wounded.
Watch them all get out. Okay, then next week and we'll be fine.
There we go.
And if in that case,
I like that.
Yeah. An next episode of the Betches, we can be like,
we were wrong and that's good.
Yeah.
Hannah G says, "What if Hunter dies trying to save Crosshair from the Empire?" That's what I feel like that could be something that could pop up.
Yeah.
Everyone lives. Everyone survives. That's what I want.
I could definitely see late in the series, Crosshair coming back and then sort of sacrificing himself to help them. If like I could see that happen too.
Yeah.
So you kind of just like, I'm gonna make up for this. So yeah, I don't know. I think sort of like we talked about earlier, there's definitely gonna be some pain, some big pain. I don't know in what way it's gonna happen though.
I don't think it could. I mean, next week could start off with them being chased by the Imperial team and then escaping, and then it's a different plot point. Like that definitely could be the case.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the amount of the way it ended, and I just feel like it'd be not disservice because they could have a fucking episode where they escape in the first 5 minutes, and then the whole episode is them with Miba Gascon buying some rice, and I'd be like, do you know what? Fuck it, 5 stars.
Yeah.
And like I just feel in my gut. I feel in my gut something has to happen.
In all seriousness, like I know I'm like everyone's gonna be fine and get out okay. But in all seriousness, I think that this episode feels like a turning point in the story where we now have a maybe not right now goal. The right now goal is to protect Omega at all costs. The right now goal is to know that there's a bounty still on this kid and we need to protect her because she is our family. And she, in this episode, straight up says that they are her family. She's like, I'm not leaving my family. I'm not leaving anybody behind.
When she says about, I'm going to sit with him until he wakes up. I was like, my heart.
But yeah, this episode definitely has it felt like a turning point because now we know what I think maybe the long-term overarching goal of this series is going to be, which is saving as many brothers as we can. Not right now. We got priorities right now, and that's Omega. But it does feel like because we now have a greater sense of understanding and a greater sense of a plan long-term. Yeah, I think this is a turning point, especially with the little cliffhanger we got with the Empire's coming.
Yeah, we got, and I mean, just structurally, we're about to hit the midpoint.
Yeah,
I was about to say episode 8, half 16.
Right. So there's that. We got a lot of things with bookmarks in them. We got the Fennec plot. We got the Kaminoans.
Yeah.
Who like just like out of nowhere we're like, oh, we need them for our new like super soldiers that we're secretly making or whatever. So like there's that. There's Fennec. There's the Crosshair. Their Empire. Rex. Whatever Rex is building up to. So there's a lot of different things to build into that. These sort of last 8 episodes are gonna punch right through. So yeah, it's gonna be a wild finish. That's for sure.
Yeah,
100%. Which brings us to our final little thing we do, which is our overall thoughts and score. So who wants to go first for this week's score? Nicky,
I'll go
you
first.
go first. Okay, Claire goes first. Okay.
Never mind. Okay. I mean, Nicky wants to.
Nobody.
No, I think this might be my favorite episode of the season so far. It hit emotionally. It's the first episode that made me legitimately like tear up. I got like straight up emotional watching this. It was beautiful. The score was brilliant as always. Animation was just a new level again for me this week. Going back to see Bracca to explore other parts of it that we don't get to see in the game. Super, super cool. The writing and the just the direction in this were just all around brilliant. Omega is she is the heart and soul of this show, and you watched her little heart and soul get broken and mended and just saw exactly how she is like the heart of this team as well, and this little weird family, protecting Wrecker and choosing not to leave anyone behind. She's a kid, but she's proven that she is so much more than she appears to be to every single person that she comes in contact with in this show. Immediately with Sid, immediately in this episode with Rex. And it was a special one. It just put me in the feels, and I am very scared for what's coming next. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I'm gonna give it a 9.
Nicky.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, Jennifer Corbett, you're a wild person. You wildin' out here. Yeah, I mean, this was, I feel like this was a special episode. This is one of those, where were you when you watched well, I forgot the name of it already. Something
Battle
Scars.
Scars.
Battle Scars. Yeah, like it kind of felt like that. It felt like a big step. So yeah, I thought it was great. Writing was amazing. The animation, everything Claire just said about all those technical things, really good. It was awesome to see Rex again, like we talked about. So yeah, I think for me, no choice but to stay in 10 out of 10. You know, I got nothing. I no complaints on this. It's a great show. I think I just need to continuously pour one out for all the people who turned their noses at this show when it was announced, when it was just a bunch of dudes shooting things in space. Just kind of continuously pouring out for them and hope they find some peace in their penance. It's almost like, why don't you just wait and let the show be what it is? So how about that? Yeah, pouring out for them. I think this is a really good story, and I'm just really pleased with how it's gone. So yeah, 10 out of 10.
Fantastic. We have a really great comment before I get into mine, which I feel like I have a similar feeling, which is that I would have liked a bit more conversation between Rex and Echo.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we will get there at some point.
Yeah, I hope so.
But then
I really do.
But also I do appreciate that in a 30-minute cartoon, you can't just be like, by the way, remember that person we used to know who died? It's sad. I'm sad. How are you? I'm fine. Everyone's dead.
Like, you're welcome. I'm glad that Fives did get a name drop at all, though, in this episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he deserves so much more than he got.
I'm honestly I was a bit surprised it didn't even happen in the Clone Wars episodes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So like,
very much
I thought that could have happened then. But I think when you're working with what you're working with now, it's like, I think the implied knowledge, the implied conversation, I think is good enough for me. But yeah, of course, if they do get talked about more, that's also great.
Yeah, I also assume that it's hard still to talk about someone who died.
Yeah.
He's not like, oh yeah, Fives was great. Remember when I didn't trust him and he died? He got shot in the head. Yeah. But yeah, I do agree. I feel like overall it's a fantastic episode. The music, the themes of the episode, and the continuous stretches of continuation of storylines, whether that's from the Clone Wars, bits of Rebels, bits of everything. I really love Fallen Order. I know people like, Lucasfilm doesn't really care because they don't care about connectivity of different stories. It's like, this episode just proves that you're wrong.
I just want the things to matter.
And like, everyone's like angry about the Ahsoka book not being canon, and that was not the case at all.
Yeah.
Chill. I really love the episode. Very great horror film vibes. The way it was filmed. I love the visuals, the set. I could talk about the rusted Venator ships all day long. Again, that's something I'm really excited about seeing in Andor, based on those art pieces we saw. Like, beautiful. Hammerhead, really cool to see that as well. So I feel like overall I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. I will say though, this score may change in the future. Because for me, episodes that are structurally two-parted, whether that's like visibly said or not, can improve or decrease depending on the entire story.
Yeah.
Generally, though, it's always an improvement.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the Zebo storyline. Sorry, the Zebo 2-parter. I feel like the second part was much stronger than the first one. Or I can't remember if it was that or vice versa. But either way, like overall, the overall story is improved in my mind, as opposed to just one episode. So I'm really intrigued to see what next week does with this score, 9.5.
Yeah, and I think almost that can be said for every episode. You know, once the season finishes, you have a new perspective on everything. So it's like you know, I think it's always fair to have that asterisk on these little meaningless numbers because it's like you know, anything can happen. You know, and the finale can change the way you thought about the lowest ranked episode you might have. So yeah, it's always fun to be able to revisit once it's been told.
It is funny because even if we gave it a 1, we've dedicated our lives to talking about this on the internet, and a thing that we've all designed and spent years working on. If it was a 1, it's a very big one. There's a lot of like love towards that.
I expect to just give 10s for the rest of the season, honestly.
Honestly, like, overall, I feel like this show has been phenomenal. The same with the Mandalorian thing, where you go in thinking it's one thing. Again, some people going in with a negative slant. For me, I was just happy to see where these characters would go, but then being sort of pleasantly surprised with the journey we've been taking on. I love it, and I do agree. I feel like overall, when we look back, it's going to be such a great journey to explain the season, give it an overall score for that. It's the same reason why people make me mad when they say that season 1 of Rebels isn't good, because I know, you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. It's just that if that's your opinion, you're wrong. Like, fuck you. Like, season 1 of Rebels is like the best.
What's the thing in the Workaholics where he's like, I see where you're coming from. I appreciate that, but fuck you, you're wrong. Or something like that. And I hate you for it or something. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very much excited to see where we go next.
One really quick thing I also want to talk about, because I thought this was fun.
Sure.
This is the first big, like mostly Filoni-less animated show. Not like like obviously Resistance, but different because this is the 3D. And I thought that was funny in how it's being talked about by the creators because like you have very much Dave's trust tree, and now it's like everybody's like, oh, you gotta watch this one. You're gonna watch, oh, this one's crazy. Basic Kenobi is like, good soldiers follow orders. So I just thought it was really funny the sort of creator culture when Dave isn't as hands-on. I thought that was really funny, and just sort of how they almost feel like, obviously we know Dave Filoni's godfather of new, sort of like this new wave of Star Wars, but they almost felt a little more like if we were there, like they're like the fans who are in now. So like it's always sort of fun for me to watch them get hyped about this, and even like Joel Aaron is like hyping everyone up. He's talking about like animators in Taiwan. He's like, oh yeah, she did this, and her twin sister did this, and like so I think it's just a little funny to like, because Filoni's so sort of play close to the chest, with the trust tree, and these guys are just balling out online. So I thought that was a fun culture.
And to add to that as well, how Filoni has become the go-to keyword for criticism or overall viewing. Like,
yeah, it's the Kathleen Kennedy syndrome. He and Kathleen have the same, like, blame Filoni, praise Filoni, blame Kathleen, like, praise Kathleen. It's like, yeah, there's lots of other little things in the works here.
I want to shout out a good friend, Jonah Marie at Blue J Guys, who has a really great TikTok video which gives a lowdown of everyone, like the key people involved in creating the Bad Batch, and how Dave Filoni isn't like the core writer and stuff. Not to be like Dave Filoni isn't important. Obviously, this would have been available without him. But people that keep going, "Oh yeah, Bad Batch is awesome. Thanks, Dave," or like, "Bad Batch sucks. Thanks a lot, Dave." Like, first of all, he didn't do it.
Yeah. No, I mean that's the thing. Like, it is Jennifer Corbett and Brad Rouse show. Like
yes,
that's 100%. It. Like, it is their show.
Yes.
And Dave has this umbrella sort of I guess sort of creative force that they're all sort of like working under, but like it's them. So these like nitty gritty things, the little details, like he's not dictating that. Like that's this team. So definitely
he's the George Lucas to their Dave Filoni.
I bet not even that.
I bet.
No,
yeah.
Like, I think he's less hands-on than that. So yeah, it is funny that he's like the key word and that everybody wants to be like Filoni. And we love him, but you know, if you love these little details of the Bad Batch, especially, it's the others.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, if you're gonna criticize something, at least be right about it. You know?
Yeah. Read the credits. How about that?
Yeah, like they're there for a reason. Before we wrap up as well, I just want to shout out Nosh on Twitter at D_EMU4ON, who did this art piece, which I absolutely adore. I don't know if you've seen this before, but there you go.
Oh, so sweet. So sweet.
I love that so much. I will retweet that on the Imperial Senate Podcast Twitter if you haven't seen that. Yeah, that's all we got time for this week.
Oh, also Sid remains undefeated.
I mean, I hope she survives. If anything.
Nothing can happen to Sid. Sid's
untouchable.
Another clone. Like, fuck this. Yeah, well, where can everybody find us? Claire, you go first.
Y'all can find me on Twitter and Instagram at cstribs. You can catch me on Kessel Run Transmissions every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And you can catch me producing Garrett and Noah Watch Movies. New episodes every Thursday. And and this week Noah is showing Garrett High School Musical 3 for the first time, which means I get a camera and a microphone because you cannot get me to shut up about the High School Musical series. So don't miss that on Thursday.
Has he seen the first two?
He's seen the second one.
That's weirder.
The masterpiece.
I know. I'm so excited. I have so many thoughts.
You can all see where Christopher Nolan blatantly ripped off High School Musical.
I cannot wait to talk to them about that because they don't know. They don't know.
Minds will be blown.
Nicky, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Noquicious, as seen on the little rectangle thing here. And then you can also catch my other show, One and Done Film Club, franchise film commentary series, where we debate which one to watch and then watch it. And we're coming up to our last episodes of season 1. They're going to be awesome. That is, or you can find that on Twitter at 1, the letter N, Done Show. And that is available on all the fine places you find podcasts.
Fantastic. Well, you can follow me on Twitter here. Nope. I hate this. Right, here at CMWASHBY. You can find me on Instagram at CharlieMWAshby. You can also find me on Patreon, where I do some really fun shows. And actually, here's an exclusive for you. I'm going to be redoing my Patreon fairly soon. In fact, the next week. And my Ko-fi links. Rather than having my shows behind a paywall, I will be releasing my shows to ye, the public. And you can help support me by, becoming a patron. But I do want to have more people listen to the shows that we do. So if you want to hear me talk to guests such as Nicky and Claire, you can listen to the Charlie Ashby Show, in which I interview friends and other creatives who are just incredible. First season is out already, and I'll be releasing all the first season out there. Batman Returned, the podcast I do with my good friend Auden, who's also on One and Done Film Club. We are going to wrap up season 2 fairly soon of Batman Returned. We took a bit of a break as we did the Christopher Nolan films for season 2, and season 1 we did the Burton to Schumacher films. That's really fun. And also Pond Vision, which we used to do on YouTube every week, a live show, me and Ash. We're going to be doing it as a podcast from now on, and that's going to be loads of fun. We're going to be talking about Loki. We did the first episode this past week. A lot of diving into a lot of crazy stuff, and if you know me and Ash, you know that within about 30 minutes, we dive out of the discussion of the show we're supposed to be talking about and into ridiculous comic book or just film tangents. So we started off talking about Loki, dived into how this could affect Ant-Man 3. So if you love comic book stuff, you'll love that show. And also, if you have a podcast or you need Photoshop work, you can hit me up on Ko-fi. And that's all available on my Twitter feed, on my link tree. And that's enough of plugging from me. And you can find our link tree for the Imperial Senate Podcast on our Twitter bio and Instagram bio. And if you want to see us do anything else, then let us know. That's all we've got time for this week. Thank you so much for listening. See you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.